The Rally blockchain was built around the concept of the convergence of AI, communication, and commerce. The rlink Studio is the first product that actually embodies that vision in a real usable way inside of a live experience that people are used to, that they understand, a meeting, a webinar, a live stream. So this isn't just theoretical, it's operational. And in this demo, my goal is to give you a high-level view of how the studio will operate. So let's just dive in. I'm going to just choose one of the lanes. Obviously, people can choose their path, whether they want to host a meeting, a webinar, or a live stream. Each studio has their own look depending on the choice that the user makes on the front side. There is basically 4 different nav bars, but again, you don't have to open these nav bars if you just want to host a basic meeting. You come into the event and here you are. Obviously, these are fake placeholders, but you kind of get the feel of what the studio would look like in a real setting. So just for demo purposes, we'll start at the top, we'll go down this side, we'll do the bottom nav bar, and then we'll circle back to the left nav bar just to kind of give you a feel of what the options are when it comes to the studio. Up at the top, you can rename your meeting. When you come into a meeting, it will say meeting. If you come into a webinar, it will be a webinar, same for the live stream. We have a little nod to our privacy feature here as well because we do take privacy seriously. The top nav bar has the rewards here. We're working on integrating the tokenization component of the Rally blockchain and how people ultimately will be rewarded for using the platform. Then there's the share option, the record option. Those are standard features. If you open up this nav bar, it opens up to the chat by default. But if you want, you can also, down here, there's a way to navigate through all of the components of this sidebar. The wallet is in here. We're working to integrate the wallet. The chat is very basic. It's got all the basic functionality that you would find in any meeting tool, but it has a few extra bells and whistles. You have the ability to highlight comments on the screen if you want to, and obviously you can also navigate to private conversations as well. There is an AI assistant as well as an AI summary, and you have some notification settings up here that you can also be in charge of if you want. And then it has all your basic emojis, file attachments, photos, etc. The attendees section is pretty robust. It's got the ability to manage your waiting room. You can see people who've raised their hands, your host and co-host, presenters and panelists, attendees. There's also some really nifty features in the attendees. So if you open up the attendees, you'll see that there's quite a few options here. The one that I think is unique to us is the ability to shadow ban, meaning sometimes you have someone in your meeting and you're like, you don't want to kick them out because they're not, you just don't want to kick them out. There could be a multitude of reasons why. But you would like for their comments that are a little not what you would like them to be saying right now, you can actually shadow ban them so you can hide their chat. They think they're still chatting. They can still see their chat, but no one else can see their chat. And I think that is definitely a use case that other platforms don't have. And then we also have the ability to manage comments if you wanted to broadcast to everyone or to specific people. The breakout rooms are also managed from here. If you want to use the breakout rooms, you can do so right from within the attendees section. Reactions are pretty standard. Then these individual ones are if you want to give love to a specific speaker, you can just thumbs them up or whatever. So these are quick reactions that are specific to the individual speakers. And then we have the ability to raise hand or be right back as well on the screen. The branding options are pretty robust. There's branding kits in your admin panel, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But you can pull in your brand kits, and once you do, all of your brand colors would be here. And as you can see, as I click on these, they do change on the screen. You can edit them directly as you want. The style is pretty simple too. You can change the fonts. You can change the gradient, the border if you want, none gradient border. You can increase this, decrease it. It just gives a look to the page. You can also incorporate a lower third. So if you wanted to add a lower third to the screen. And these are just basic recipes for what the look would look like. There are templates that you could use to change out the look. And then the visual effects are changing the color of the name, the tile color, the background. the border. These are just some options when it comes to choices on how you want the components of the stream or the meeting to look. Media is if you wanted to showcase your logo on your screen, you can turn that on or off. It's pulled in through the brand kit, or you can X out of it and upload one of your choice. There's also an AI background generator here. The AI functionality of the platform will be based off of the account type that you have. If you have a business account, then you'll have access to all of the AI functionality. If you don't, then you won't have access to all of the AI functionality. But I'll just showcase this real quick, and then we'll move on to the last part of the branding kit. So as you can see, it generated an image, and now when I click on it, it pops in behind the video components here. The QR code is pretty simple. It's basically just popping in your URL. So I'll just pop in or wherever, honestly, wherever you want your person to go. You can also upload let me grab a logo real quick so that I can show you what this looks like. Logos, we'll just grab one, we'll just use this. So as you can see now, the logo shows in the center. You can show it on the stream, again, wherever you want as well. So this is a way for you to use QR codes in an event, whether it's a meeting, a webinar, or a live stream. And then tools are pretty basic. We have a whiteboard. So if you open up the whiteboard, you'll see a basic whiteboard with all the basic functionality incorporated. If you want to use the note taker, it's pretty robust. If you open up the note taker, there's different types of scenarios in here. So if you've done a sales call or a coaching call or a webinar or a strategy or just a straight up meeting, and based on the type of event that you have, or the use case for it, it will show you different things. So it'll give you a summary, it'll give you a set of actions, some insights, your transcript. There's an AI feature here where you can generate a summary, you can generate follow-up emails, future meeting topics. This is all an AI meeting assistant and part of the AI note taker. Going back into the tools, the Q&A, this is actually a feature of the webinar specific. So if someone registers for a webinar, they can ask their questions in advance. You can pull those questions in and highlight them on the screen and answer them. So that's, again, a unique feature. The breakout rooms are very easy to manage. You can pull people into different breakout rooms simply by, it pulls in your attendees, and then you can put them into any room that you want. You can add additional rooms if you want. You can manage those rooms. You can broadcast messages. You can answer help requests, etc., right from within the breakout room area here. And there's some settings as well if you want to set a timer on the rooms. This is, again, pretty robust. Working on the AI agents, this will be where we'll have specific types of agents that, things like a sales agent or a customer service agent or fill in the blank. We've got many use cases for how we could leverage this and the end goal here. Private chat is mostly used in live streaming, but again, it's a function and a feature here. The impact feature is really where we have quite a few components here. We have engagement summary, participant actions. I won't go into each of these. This is really where I think we're going to shine, because this will be where we can showcase the conversion component of the platform. So you'll have a basic overview. You'll have the ability to see, you've showed your offer, 62% looked at it, clicked on a CTA, opened the checkout, completed purchase. So it really breaks down your funnel. You can see your conversions on your offers. And then, of course, you see your buyers at a glance. I think this, again, is going to be pretty powerful. So the sidebar on the right, some of these will not be applicable to everyone. You may only use some of them. You might like the branding feature, but you don't need some of the other features. So I think it'll just be based on use case and what people need. Moving down to the bottom nav bar, there's our settings here. General is just that. Camera, these are basic components here. One of the things that we added was the visual effects. So having a beauty mode, the ability to blur your background removal, adding virtual backgrounds. There is a AI background generator in here and some additional things. Again, I'm not going to go through each of these. Just know that they're there. We have some hotkeys and some stats as well, just basic things. Some of those features are pretty robust. Some of them just mirror other video conferencing tools. Then we have our translation functionality. This will obviously showcase captions on the screen. You can choose your spoken language. You can choose the display language. So if I change this to Spanish, for example, you'll be able to see that it's obviously changed to Spanish on the screen. And then we have a merchandise store down here. And then these are just invite options. So inviting, quickly finding your room, sending a link to someone. And this is the managing your guest and co-host. Again, just keeping everything at your fingertips. This is a view option. So you can change from gallery view, which we're in right now, to speaker top, to focus, or speaker side. And then this is the ability to reward content creators or hosts that you love their content or they've just done a really great job. Fill in the blank for your reasoning. But currently we've got it built to where you can reward in USD or hopefully as well using rally tokens in the near future. And then let's see, this is the reactions again. So they're located in your right sidebar, but they're also super handy to have down at the bottom if you don't want to open up that sidebar. They're in two places. And then this is, again, just typical share your screen, your video, and your audio components. Over in the left sidebar is really where some magic starts to occur. Some of what we have right now is coming soon, and some of it is currently functional. So the asset library is functional. This is where all of your things that you want to keep and leverage over and over again. So images, videos, audios. The element marketplace is coming soon. So this will be pre-designed element bundles that people can purchase based on verticals. So if you're a real estate agent, for example, we'll create some pre-designed element bundles that we feel would be in alignment with your business model, and it would make it super simple for you to just go in and have those at your fingertips with just a few quick edits instead of you having to start from a place of scratch. So that's coming soon. The elements are a combination of things, and based on your package, you'll only see certain things. For example, if you have a basic package, you'll only have access to a few elements. If you have the business package, then you'll have all of the elements. So as you can see right now, all of the elements are in here. There are CTA banners, talking points, and I'm going to show these on the screen in just a minute. Web overlays, polls, videos, audio, timers, presentations, prompters, product showcases, the ability to check out, sell things right in your events, lead capture, auction, contract, leaderboard, crypto ticker, etc. And each of these have their own ecosystem. So if you wanted to create one, you would add element, you would choose the one that you wanted, and each of them have their own way of setting these up. You obviously want to put them in the folder that you want them in, you name them, you decide, where you want it, etc. And it makes it super simple, and you can see a preview to the side. So I'm not going to go into the setup for each of these, but I do want to show them on the screen so that you can see what they look like. So the timer is a basic timer. You can move this around, so you can move it to where you want it. And it's got different use cases depending on how you want to use it. You can count down, you can count up. It's pretty robust timer. The rally ticker is, as you can see, these are the projects that are under the Connect ecosystem. It shows up at the bottom of the screen, so it's just like any other ticker. The contract mechanism is going to be pretty robust. It's going to be like a DocuSign right within the platform. This is something that will probably be coming soon, and having the ability to replace DocuSign, having the ability to have people sign their contracts with you in person in the moment. I think that's going to be super powerful. Talking points are just that. They do show up at the bottom. It's just a great way to keep your audience in the know on what you're talking about in the moment. And then the auction, this is actually the auction for this is already ended, so you can't really see it in action. But being able to have a live auction, and there's a multitude of formats for the auction, again, depending on the way you set it up. The CTA is similar to what you've already seen. It does have some visual imagery, and it has a clickable call to action button. And you can display this different places on the screen. This one currently is a left sidebar, but I could have put it at the top or right sidebar, etc. So it has placement options. The lead capture is great because if you wanted to be able to give something to someone, but you also wanted to collect their email address, this is great because it allows you to do that, and it gives you the opportunity to be legally compliant and to continue to market to them because they have to agree to receive marketing emails, and you can add your privacy policy here. This text is totally editable, so you can put whatever you want here. But it gives you the ability to capture leads and connect that to your CRM. Presentations are just that. You have the ability to put your presentation on the screen. I'm not going to go over all of these because some of them are, you understand what they are. The checkout process is the ability to literally sell right within your event. So putting up a checkout page, having them be able to check out, integrating with Stripe and PayPal currently. Images are just that, image, GIF, the ability to have a teleprompter. I'm going to go ahead and close that. The teleprompter is pretty awesome because if you've ever used a teleprompter, you know that sometimes they don't always align with your eyes. This one is actually movable, so you can move it wherever you want on the screen. Super easy to use. You just turn it on and away you go. You can change the speed literally by clicking on it as you're going. Again, if you know what that's and you've been using teleprompters, being able to change the speed in the moment is pretty huge. So I'm excited about the teleprompter feature. This is a web page overlay, so the ability to pull in a website directly into your event. As you can see, this is an interactive one, which means that your viewers can interact with it. If it was static, which you can choose that, then you can control what they see and how they see it. And then the poll, we have all kinds of poll options. So this is just a yes/no one. But if you were to add a poll, let me show you some of the functionality. We have multiple choice, multiple answer, yes, no, rating, open text. This is a pretty robust feature. We've already done the timer. Happy birthday is an audio file. Happy birthday to you. So being able to pull your audio components directly into your event. And then the video is just that. It's a video just like we've had in previous iterations of whyrlink. So that's how the elements work. The scenes and overlays. The scenes and overlays are primarily designed more for a webinar or a live stream setting, but you could still use them in a meeting if you wanted to. So I'm going to open them up, and basically they give you the ability to create scenes, if you will, being able to change certain looks. Like if you're going to be starting soon, you could have a countdown timer, for example, and it gives you the ability just to click on these things and have them change the look of your studio effect. So again, these are a little more complex, but for people who are doing webinars or live streams, this is going to be huge. The overlays are also great because it gives you the ability to showcase speaker names on the screen, or your logo, or a news ticker, or things like celebration if you want to celebrate something specific. There's a whole bunch of things that you could add. So lower thirds, logos, news tickers, countdowns, a social feed, alert box. So again, depending on what you want to affect. I also added some packs in here, Christmas pack, for example. Like here, I added it real quick just to showcase it. And then now I've got snow effects coming down on my screen. So we'll add to these packs as need be, but they're pretty basic right now. And then we have a sounds feature for people who want to leverage sound within their events. There's some basic ones in here right now. So you've got notification, drum roll, swish, cash register, and then you have the ability to generate sounds using an AI generator. This will only be available if you have the business account. Otherwise, you'll just have some basic sounds in here. And I think that's it for the left sidebar. I want to take a minute and go into the admin panel because the admin panel is pretty robust. So in the admin panel, and I'm going to go through this super quick, but Essentially, when you go into your admin panel, you land here. So you can, at a glance, kind of see what's going on. You can start a webinar, a meeting, a live stream. You can schedule. You can set up your rooms. You can see your sessions if you've got anything scheduled, etc. Your account's just basic. It's got your basic information in here. Teams and users, this would be where you actually add people, make people owners within your rooms, admins, hosts, presenters, etc. The brand kits are where you would build your brand kits. Now, some people want multiple brand kits. Some people may have one brand. Some people may have no brand at all. They don't even know what that necessarily means. So if you already know what your brand is all about, you can build your brand kits. If you are the other person who has no brand, there's actually a template feature in here with some pre-built looks, essentially, depending on what you're trying to affect and what you like, that you could leverage if you wanted to. Corporate, creative, minimal, bold, elegant, modern. And of course, if you decide you want to use it, all you have to do is click Use Template. And then the room templates are kind of presets. So if you use your rooms for specific things, like if you are using it for a webinar or fill in the blank. So for example, I've got some use cases here: podcast studio, a webinar, a team meeting, a workshop, a live event, or you can totally create your own from a customization perspective. And then once you have set these up, all you have to do is come in and launch the room. So it'll save you a lot of time based off, again, off of the use case of the event that you're trying to set up. Your elements library is just another way for you to set up your elements and organize them before you go into your event. Like, for example, right now I have this rlink demo. These are all the ones that I just demoed for you. But you can add folders here. You can realign your assets if you want to. All the things basically that you can do live and in the moment when you're in an event, you can pre-organize here in the elements library. Your room is where you create your room, set up your rooms. Again, this depends on how many rooms you have. The business package has 5 rooms, so you can set up all your rooms here. Here's where you would schedule your meetings. Each of these have unique scheduling components based on the type of event that you're trying to schedule. I won't go into them with any specificity. Your recordings are going to be pretty robust. You have the ability to play from here. So as you can see, you have all the bells and whistles from the perspective of being able to navigate through your replay. You can download it, you can share it, you can create a clip, you can do some setting control too. If you don't want everyone to see it, for example, or you want it to expire, or you want people to be able to download it. So there's some settings functionality here. And then there is a feature that I added, which is going to be repurposing your events if you want to. You'll be able to pull in your recordings and use the AI generated clips feature to find clips that are relevant for repurposing. And then the event landing page, I'm not going to go over this too awful much. This is for webinars or scheduled types of events. The templates in here have been built off of the top performing templates. And of course, you can preview some of them. You can create your own event, your own look, but there are some pre-designed ones in here as well. Leads are for people who don't have an existing CRM. So people who would like to be able to track the people that come into their event, but they don't have a CRM, they don't have an active campaign, they don't have a Go High Level or a MailChimp, etc. This would be a place for their leads to go and for them to see them and to have a basic look as to, all right, are they a hot lead, are they a warm lead, or a cold lead? These are based on engagement within the event. So if they've engaged a lot, they're a hot lead. If they didn't engage at all, they're a kind of a cold lead. But this is just a nice little feature for people to have that don't have some bells and whistles yet. And then the AI note taker is just settings for your AI note taker. Integrations will be integrations that you can incorporate with the platform. MailChimp, SendGrid will be adding more to this as we grow. We'll have the ability for payment processing to integrate with Stripe and PayPal, cloud storage, authentication, CRMs, calendars, SMS. So if you are sending SMS marketing messages, live streaming, webhooks, API keys, etc. Some of this will be available day one. Some of us will be built out over time. And then the billing and usage is just that. It allows people to be able to see their basic billing information, upgrade their account, basically control their account from within the admin section. And then settings are just your basic things. Right now, all live streaming is done through our TMP keys. We'll probably at some point get direct integrations, but this allows you to set up these one time. You put all your components in here, and it will save your keys so that you don't have to put them in over and over again. So this is exciting. And then the support features, being able to connect with support directly within the admin section. So essentially, this is rlink in a nutshell, the new rlink Studio. I'm excited to share it with you. I hope you are as excited as we are for this to be a reality. Thanks for your time and attention.